Hey Libra, Tourmaline Tarot, we're going to do your September 2022 reading. Can't even believe it's already September, but these wanted to do a love relationship thing, so we're going to go with it. Also, if this is yours, you'll know. If it's not yours, you'll also know. So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? So let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we have the eyeball in the middle. All right. There is, I don't necessarily have to say it's a standoff, but like there's observation going on. I hate to say reconnaissance because that seems sometimes like a negative thing, but there is like, people are gathering intel on both sides. And somebody is kind of leaving things up to luck, up to universe. Because with the home is like about stability and all that nice, good stuff. But at the same time, there's an element of comfort. There's an element of also pulling back. Like, where do you go? You go home. Are we leaving? No, we're staying home. So somebody could be like, you know, wishing for the universe to take the wheel while they're sitting there watching Netflix. You know what I mean? It's, I don't think there's a lot of active participation over here. But over here you have the sun and you have the anchor. I will say, this can go one of two ways. We will ground this, okay, and clarify it. Somebody could be looking for ways to get grounded, but also at the same time, somebody could be realizing that something or an element of situation that they're in is a drag. It is holding back in some way. Because what do anchors do? They keep you where you are. They keep you anchored. It's in the name. So we have the handshake as kind of the challengey. So that's the meet in the middle. That's the agreement. That's the kind of getting it together part. The outcome is you have the man. It doesn't necessarily have to be an actual man, but it is a person. So, because they only give you a man and a woman in this deck. So whatever person this is, whatever side, let's figure out, what is this person doing? Are they going to get some clarity, or are they going to... I do like to point it out, the letter bouquet lightning. I'm not going to take it all the way, but there is some kind of like surprise where they kind of, whoever this is that is kind of like, you know, universe take the wheel, but I'm also not going to do anything about it. Like, you know, we have the train track. So somebody does kind of get in a groove where they begin to do things, you know, quote, the right way. Like there's schedules, there's times, there's expectations. It's kind of like way more structured. Because what about this train track exactly? More discipline. Yeah, somebody does really kind of buckle down. So if that was a concern, the end of the watching is done. The observing part is over. And the birds. There could be more activity in terms of texting, etc., social media, that kind of thing. But it is more of like a putting yourself out there vibe. It's a more interactive vibe. Also, just watch out for chatter of people like trying to feed intel. Like, you know, you were in intel mode. Now you're like, well, no, we don't have to do that anymore. I don't need the gossip. I don't need the tea. I have my own kettle going. You know what I mean? So we have this guy over here. There might be a touch of resistance because with the wine is kind of like a, not necessarily superficial, but it's like the easiest thing to go to that brings happiness. It's like, you know, the quick little dopamine hits that you can get just as like an avoidance of something. So how does this play out over here? I feel like they're in a cycle with the ring, and I don't really get this as commitment-y, especially with the kind of the vibe that's given off with that. But with the rose, there is, you know, it's still enjoying it, but the thorns might start to come out. Like, it looks like a good time, but the thorns, like, you can't grab it with your whole hand, otherwise you're going to cut up your hand. You know what I mean? So there is like a realization of like, there's good, there's bad. We need to kind of figure it out exactly what it is. So over here, the drag, person who's kind of feeling like a little held back here. They're watching. Shepherds get involved when stuff is going wrong. I feel like whoever this is kind of wants to stay on the outskirts. It's like, I really don't want to have to get involved right now. Because, yeah, there's a defensiveness. It's like, there's like a little, it's not a wall, but there is definitely like a line drawn where it's like over it, under it, pick one, but like, you know, I don't want to have to get in there. I think you might be surprised because when that switch flips, you were the other person. I always have to remember, like, this is scales. You pick the side that kind of resonates with you. When it does kind of like get proof in the pudding, that it's like, no, there is more discipline. There is more action coming from this other side. You know, it's kind of like, oh, okay. And it's nice. It's almost poignant, the fact that somebody is like, no, like this, I need to step up my game. And you're like, thank you for finding me, or the other person, you know, worthy of stepping up the game. So that'll be a nice switch. I mean, I feel like it's coming, whatever this is, whatever kind of, you know, thing. I feel like whoever is the one feeling kind of held back doesn't have to feel that way much longer. Because the challenge is the meeting in the middle, right? So that will switch over. So now go into the tarot. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're going to do a 9 card on these guys. All right. So at the center, you have the Queen of Swords reversed. There is, like I said, there's kind of, it's right before, you know, she doesn't want to make the decision. She doesn't want to have to cut things off. She doesn't want to have to be the one to be like, no, we're not doing this. So you're kind of in that lull. Remember how I said shepherds look, they don't want to have to do anything. Well, she doesn't want to have to do anything right now, you know. But looking at the corners, you have the 10 of Wands. Then we have the Lovers, and then the 10 of Cups with the 6 of Swords reversed. So 10 of Cups reversed, 6 of Swords reversed, Lovers, 10 of Wands. We have 2 10s. Rounding the corner on something. Something feels like too much, you know, and Lovers is a decision card. It's also relationships, if we're carrying relationship over. But there is decisions that are kind of like, I'm not saying it's la, 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 but with the 6 of Swords reversed, it's like, no, we're sticking in. We're sticking in. Queen of Swords, I'm not dropping this. Whatever it may be. The 10 of Cups, you know, like, I don't really think that that's not having it. It's more of like, we're not there yet. Because you have the 10 of Wands, the High Priestess reversed, which is she's being like, no, we're not listening. There's almost like a tune out, and the tune out is preventing this 10 of Cups. Because stuff is being, like, it's too bogged down in what's being carried, what's being held on to, and not going within to kind of be like, oh, okay, that's the preventative. This is the block to get to here. King of Cups, I think the intentions are wonderful, but at the same time, like I said, there's I don't want to have to make this decision. Also, 5 of Pentacles reversed. It's like, I don't want to have to do this. Someone does not want to have to do something. I'm not saying it comes down to the last minute, but there is a switch that has to happen, or action will have to be taken. It's almost like, you know, if this is you, you're like, I don't want to have to tower. Don't make me tower. Like, don't make me death card. Don't make, you know what I mean? So with the Lovers, the Fool, and then this 6 of Swords reversed, it's like, let's give it the best shot. With the Fool, though, I feel like in some way there is a desire to kind of hold on to what you need to be doing at the same time, because the Lovers is, you know, it's 2 people on this. The Fool is literally starting. He might be kind of like, okay, well, I also have my own stuff started over here, but I'll keep an eye on this. Like, I don't want to, you know, throw the baby out with the bathwater, but if I'm still going to keep doing the foolishness, we're going to have to deal with it. So I do want to clarify the 6 of Swords reversed. Temperance. She did flip, but it came out the right way. So Temperance. There's balance. There's patience. Also Sagittarius, then you have Aries, Gemini. High Priestess I always associate with Virgo. I know it's really more of like a Cancer card, but then you have some water, you have some air, you got a lot going on. Not a lot of earth though. So I don't know if the signs really matter for this. I feel like this is more of like a bigger story than just being like, that's Sag, that's Aries. Yeah, so like the balance and patience is key, but at the same time, there's also a need to fulfill what you need to be doing. You don't want to have to, like a shepherd, you don't want to have to get involved. You only get involved when problems are involved, and you're just like, just don't make problems. But like, is that fun as well? You know what I mean? It's that feeling of like, this is a little bit of a drag. So the Fool. Then you have the King of Swords reversed. Still not going to make the decisions. Still not going to like call time. We'll give it a little more. We'll give it some time with Temperance here. So Queen of Swords reversed. Once again, so you have the Ten of Pentacles reversed. You have the Four of Cups, and then you have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So there is kind of like, I hear that record scratch thing where it's like, okay, well, if it's not the Ten of Pentacles, okay, we'll just, it's almost, I hate to say it's settling, but until the other crap kind of dies down, there is that gap between, this Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, 10 things. So stuff is kind of continuously falling short. You don't want to have to make the call. And actually, in some way, I feel like it's not that there's a block on it, but it's almost like it's preventing you from kind of sitting in that power of Queen of Pentacles where like, I got this. So, the Fool, it is important to keep an eye on stuff that's going on for you. I want one more on this King of Swords reversed. Three of Cups, okay? I feel like you're taking enjoyment where you can get it. Any kind of reunion-y stuff could be popping up, like someone is like, no, I'm doing well now. And you're like, all right, well, prove it. Because I want to see what this Five of Pentacles reversed is about. And then I do want to clarify the Lovers too, because I want to get nosy. So yeah, Page of Swords reversed and the Eight of Cups. It's like being on the cusp of it. Like, I'm tired of keeping my eyes peeled. I'm tired of, keeping one ear to the ground. You know what I mean? It's like any kind of checking up vibe, you're done. You still feel a certain way about it. The cups aren't knocked over. You can come back to them if you want, but like, it's on the brink of that. Like, I'm bailing. This doesn't have to be necessarily a relationship. This could be a job where you're like, yeah, I am not going to do that. Like, and you feel some way held back or prevented from, I hate to be like your full potential, but you know what I mean? It's like you have ideas that aren't being listened to. You have strengths that aren't being acknowledged. Like, that kind of stuff. You kind of want like a whole picture. You don't want pieces. So the Lovers, it's like only looking at like the Mona Lisa's ear. It's like, there's a whole face. So the Lovers, give me something. That was way too many. What is it about? Ten of Swords. We done. You literally have all the tens. All the tens have showed up. Out of 78 cards, you got the 4 tens. So there is like a doneness. Like, I'm hearing like, put a fork in it. Putting a fork. Fork is in. Yeah. So there is like a not giving to this Devil energy anymore. Ace of Cups reversed, Justice reversed, Devil. It's like, It's almost like not welcome. It's like if you put energy into it and you weren't seeing the payoff and it was still kind of coming back the same results, you're not really throwing yourself out there again. But at the same time, it's like you do have the patience. You aren't throwing in the towel completely. Give me one more on this Temperance, because I do feel like it works out in your favor. It's just a matter of sticking in there and meaning business and doing what you need to do. I feel like this is saying like, we're not there yet, because it's the Hierophant reversed, Hermit reversed, Page of Wands reversed. Like I said, reversals for me are like a not yet. Like, you're not there yet. Like, you don't know everything that you need to know about this commitment, or the communication is not up to par, because it's a page, yet to have all the pieces. But I think, like I said, you're done with the shepherding, and you're done with that business. I would take the good times where you can get it, but really kind of keep your focus on stuff, because anything that's keeping you off kilter and out of the Queen of Pentacles, any decisions that are not being made, you don't want to be hasty, but at the same time, you want to be fully informed to make them. So if you have to put a pin in it and get some distance on it, I think that might be like a nice little wake-up call for whomever this may be. So we have the letter. This is just straight up Lenormand. We only do these one at a time with no clarifying. So we have the letter, the anchor, and the whip. I just feel like it gets communicated like this is a drag. I need something a little more like with some pep in the step. Let's do this. So I feel like it's not that you're not being heard or you're not communicating. It's just like the process is slower than what you need. So like I said, you got to kind of keep eyes on your own work. Well, this other person's like, yo, what's the answer for number 10? And you're like, I'm not telling you. Figure it out. So let's see. We're doing the Spirit Animal Oracle as to close it out here. So we have Giraffe, Visionary, all right? So rise above earthly matters. Glide through life with grace. You are able to see the right path. Stand tall in your self-worth and love with a big heart. All right, so that's what we have for September, and I'll talk to you later.